All right, so we'll start the painting of the spines now. This is an early demonstration, and I don't know if you can see, but the ones at the back, see if I can get a bit closer here. The ones at the back are a very pale neutral color with a slight sort of yellowy tinge to them. Then as they become closer to the viewer, they become darker and darker. So I've started with a color here that I've mixed from Quin Gold and Windsor Violet. So those two are kind of opposite each other, if you like, on the color wheel, and they neutralize each other. So the color is slightly mauve, which is good for distance, but also slightly yellow. Now, the other thing we need to be careful of is that our brushes have got a good point. Now, I'm using my trusty Neef Taklon 000. It doesn't really matter what brush you want to use. You can use a sable or whatever. Just make sure that you can get a good fluent line. One of the issues here is that each line will be a spine. So if you fiddle about or you there's hiccups in them, then it'll spoil the effect. So not a bad idea to just practice when you start. So here's the color. It's not. I'll probably lighten it off a little bit more. Now you might find that you'll get a slightly scumbly effect with the line. It might be just skimming over the paper. The paper might have a bit of oil on it or grease. So if you want it to flow more easily, add a little bit of ox gall. There you go. Winsor & Newton ox gall. I'm actually going to add a little bit to the paint itself. I don't know if you can see that. So just a couple of little brushfuls here. Now that makes the paint flow more easily and more fluently. Whenever I'm trying to get a fairly decent line without any scumbling, I usually use a bit of ox gall. Some people put it in no water, but I put a little bit in the paint itself, and hopefully, yeah, that's not too bad at all. Okay, so we'll do our back row, if you like. And remembering, of course, that they're not bristles going straight up and down all the way around, that they come out in different directions. So some of them are crossing over. Now, because I'm looking at the chestnut from sort of underneath, if you like, so this is the casing here, we've got the nut here. The ones that are behind here, I don't see where they join the case. So they will in fact end up being a little bit shorter than these ones at the front. If you're looking at it the other way, let's have a look. Okay, so I think this one shows the top of the case there. You can sort of see part of it. So the back ones may be slightly longer than the front ones. So just depending a little bit on your view, and this one as well. So we can see part of the casing here, and it's just curving over, so there's a sort of horizon line there, and you may see some of the back ones a little bit longer than the front ones. Whereas this, I'm looking at from underneath, and the back ones are going to be a little bit shorter. Really just giving the impression. And again, turn your paper around if you find it easier. As I said to you before, I find it much easier to actually move away from my body, and this movement is kind of awkward. So I will move the paper. So I'll just do a few more of these and get back to you in a minute.